everybody, to the Coaches in the Mouth pod. This is Coach Jeff Williams along with Coach Bray Cook and the Mouth Brent Bender. Man, what a show we got for you today. We're going to talk a little Hogs. They've got out of the month of just
the grind.
The grind. That's a great word. The grind of the month from hell right there. But we're out of that part of it, and we'll get on and talk about a little bit Hogs and Mississippi State. Also got Danny McEwen coming on with our BSN Player of the Week. Got Coach Fimple coming on with our picks. And the Triple Crown man, Derek himself. Also, 2 exclusive interviews with Jeremy Burns and hopefully Zach Watson if we can get him on here. So, well, let's get right into it. Went down to Tuscaloosa Saturday. And I made the statement, hey, I think they figured it out. Alabama has on what their formula is to win. And we needed a little bit of an off night. And I thought Alabama was off just a little bit offensively. Thought, man, defensively played outstanding. Offensively, we gave ourselves a chance there at the end. To win the ball game, got down, came back, whole 9 yards. Bray, what was your take of the game against Alabama with the Hogs?
I mean, there's 2 sides of it, and one, you've got to come away, a little bit at least, it's Alabama, and we went to Alabama and we competed and had a chance, to win that ball game, and so there's part of you that says that's a step forward for the Hogs, but then I look back at my senior year and we lose to Alabama at home. I think it was 13-14 maybe.
Yeah.
Missed a field goal. We dropped one in the back of the end zone, and so there's so many points left on the field, and so the other side of that coin is, man, you had Alabama in a year that you probably shouldn't have. And that's tough.
Yeah, that everybody's talking about this is a year to get them, but there's only one team that's got them so far as Texas, and so it is what it is. Brent, what was your takeaway from everything?
Well, my take was in the first half of the game, we were just trying to keep our head above water, and then as the third quarter progressed and we got into the fourth quarter, we started saying, hey, we're making a few plays here. We got a chance to be right here at the end of the game to win it. And kudos for the effort from our team Saturday. Hogs played hard. On the last drive of the fourth quarter, when we got the ball, we got a nice hole coming for, I believe it was DeBinion. We had a nice hole, and just so happened the turf monster jumped out there.
Oh, J.B. Grass got him.
J.B. Grass got him, and you just thought, oh, that's how it goes this year. But proud of the fight from our Hogs this weekend. I mean, no team in America has had the schedule that we've had on the road for the 4 straight games.
4 weeks in a row.
And they said, well, you had a home game with Texas A&M. No, we didn't. We had to jump on a plane and fly. But very encouraged, especially encouraged with this game coming up with Mississippi State.
Well, and I'm going to ask Bray this because you've been there. I don't know if you went on a month on the road like that. How good for the players is it going to feel good to be in Razorback Stadium Saturday? I mean, I know it's 11 o'clock kickoff, but you know how it is getting on that plane, the hotel, and I mean the whole deal, and you're going to be playing in front of the home crowd, and I imagine we'll have a nice crowd there Saturday. That's got to make them feel good. Talk to me about your experience. You went through that with some long trips and weeks. Talk to us.
Well, there's several different ways to look at it, and one, it's huge to be home in front of your own fans is a big difference versus at Tuscaloosa, or especially at Mississippi State. You can get those cowbells in your face. That's a whole different conversation. But it's a big deal to be at home for multiple reasons. The biggest one in my mind is those offensive linemen who have struggled with some penalties on the road. Well, now you might be able to rein it in a little bit. And not necessarily have to think about the crowd noise, the atmosphere. Now it's your place. So now you can focus a little bit more on just playing football.
And I think so. And we'll, getting back at home, being familiar, walking, the walking in the stadium and instead of everybody booing you, they're cheering you. You know,
Usually,
and so and that, you can take that how you want it, but you know, I think they're going to come out this Saturday and play really well. Brent, what do you think?
I do too. I think it's a game that we should win. I am expecting a victory, but and it will be a hard fought game. I believe it will be a fourth quarter game that's decided either way. But I had a question for you, Coach Cook, Bray, because you're a big man and you've been on the road for 4 straight weeks, correct? And now, as a big man, you're finally getting to get in your locker room to dress for Saturday. You finally got a little extra. It's a little bit better to get dressed in your red jersey when you're not bumping up against another big bad dude. Okay, you've got room and you can stretch out a little bit before the game, and I think the Hogs will play a top-notch game Saturday.
He brings up a great point. You know, we really should do like a some kind of situation where we follow the Hogs around for away games, and let's tour some of these away locker rooms.
Well, that's
what let me tell you, they are tough.
Are they the size?
They are miserable.
The size of this room.
Coach, you got nicer away locker rooms in Northwest Arkansas high school games. I mean, we're 5A school. We'll go to Gentry. We got a better setup than the Hogs at Auburn. Let me tell you. Really? It's tough. It'll get me fired up now that I think about it. That sucks.
That's the hitting thing that nobody knows about. Yeah. You know, is even as a coach, and you're a coach, and you understand, you're going to call your buddy and go, "Hey, how's that locker room over there?" You know, that's something you're going to ask about. You know, how many you can take and all that kind of deal. What is the worst locker room that you've ever been in, Bray?
Yeah, I'm for some reason Auburn comes to mind. It is a tough spot to get dressed at Auburn, and as bad as a locker room as a graduate assistant, you know, they put you up in the box in the situation. Let me tell you, you go to Auburn, you got to walk through the stands to get up there. So you're walking like basically through Auburn's student section as a coach, just getting, attacked. And you go up there, and that room is the size of this pool table. And I'm sitting, you know, on top of Dan Enos, who's trying to call plays, and I'm trying to stay out of his way, and I'm a big guy. No, it's a tough situation, these away SEC stadiums, I'll tell you what.
Well, I think it's a good idea. Next time we bring guys on here, let's talk about their situation with the visitor locker room. I'm for that. Well, let's go on. We're going to get into high school. Let's go ahead and bring on Danny McEwen, find out who our BSN player of the week is. Let's bring our BSN guest, Danny McEwen.
Man, another big week last week. I'm telling you, these points, is there any defensive coordinators out there right now? I wouldn't want to be one. I mean, points everywhere, but still got people playing defense a little bit in some spots. Fayetteville had a big win last week against Bentonville.
Yeah.
Daryl Burnett going on the road. The Trojans went on the road and won last week. So
Saw that.
What you got out of last week?
I tell you, the one that really caught my attention was our buddy Tyler George from Jonesboro comes to North Little Rock and rolls up 37-7 on North Little Rock. Huge win for the Golden Hurricane.
Huge win. It's going to set them up a game this week to get the playoffs. I mean, unbelievable.
I'll tell you the one I saw some really good scores. You know, Harrison came back and beat Alma. Saw that, and Warren. We've heard the story about Warren, but they had an undefeated matchup with DeWitt and came out on top. But the one that really caught my eye too. Think about this one now. Heber Springs goes to Lone Oak.
Yes,
and wins 45-13.
Van Pascal just putting his magic on there, isn't he?
I'm telling you, and Lone Oak's not an easy place to win.
No, sir. No, sir.
Tough
no, Jackrabbit. You go and your best ran over with the Jackrabbits, man. They're ready. Right. They're always ready. But you know, Van Pascal is wherever he goes, he does a phenomenal job. I mean, of course, he's been everywhere in the state and every which way but loose. But the guy, he knows how to coach football. I mean,
absolutely. I mean, they're sitting there 4-2 right now, but they're 3-0 in the league.
Wow.
So we'll find out. They go to Stuttgart this week, and then they go to Harding Academy. So
yeah, we'll check it out. Well, and then we can get Coach on the show, man.
yeah, absolutely.
Coach
Absolutely.
Well, tell me, you talked to your committee, all one of you, and got together. Tough decision. People are going crazy over this BSN Player of the Week. I get texts every week, phone calls, people putting, hitting the coaches in the mouth on social media, but putting their guys up every week. Talk to me who we got and what'd you find out?
So a lot of times I tell you, I actually get to see the Player of the Week in person sometimes, get to watch the game where it happens, but I actually got to listen to this one. I was on my way home from a game, and the radio station I was listening to had Clinton and CAC. So got to listen to that game. Had 6 lead changes in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable ball game, back and forth, and 2 big. CAC is spread, throwing it every down, and our boy Chris Dufresne from Clinton likes to line up in the wing tee and grind it out. But Clinton came out on top 53-50, and our Arkansas Player of the Week for Week 7 is his running back, Zane Widener.
Wow.
Zane had a huge, huge night. 400 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns, caught a touchdown pass, and Chris and I had a good laugh about that because he said they threw it 3 times. So he had 7 touchdowns in a shootout, and unbelievable night for this young man. And great kid, good student, 4-point grade average. We were really excited to be able to honor him and visit with the Yellow Jackets. Great day.
Chris and them were, a huge win by those guys. I actually saw the highlights on this one, and Coach has done a great job over there at Clinton forever. And 400 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's somebody's season stats right there.
Oh yeah, I would have taken that every day.
Oh my gosh, 400 yards, 6 touchdowns. I don't think anybody scored 6 touchdowns.
I tell you what's really neat though, looking at the standings, is Clinton is one of 6 teams in that 4-4A that have 2 losses. So it's jumbled. So there's going to be a couple of good football teams that get left out, but got 3 weeks left. It's going to shake itself out. Got a big one in that conference this week with Bauxite at Mayflower. That'll help line out some playoff games there and who's in and who's out. But yeah, Clinton had a big night, and to beat them at CAC is a huge accomplishment. We're fired up for Zane. 7 touchdowns, 400 yards. That's a career for most people.
Oh, there's no doubt, man. That's exciting for that young man. All right, talk to us. We got some big games this week.
Got some big ones. So I know you always ask the hard questions, so I'm going to ask you a hard question.
Yeah, that's what the people want to know. We give them
there are 12 undefeated teams left in the state of Arkansas. How many of them can you name?
Okay, I'm gonna go. I might be off on this. All right, here we go. Up here, we're gonna go. Fayetteville's undefeated.
Yep.
Conway's undefeated. Parkview's undefeated. Carlisle undefeated.
No, negative.
Carlisle. Jeez almighty. Shiloh's No, they got beat too. Dang, spit them off, man.
Okay, so Greenwood Bulldogs, only 6A team undefeated. Yeah, we got another team in 5A that's undefeated. Is Batesville Southside sitting at 7-0.
Big game this week.
Yep.
Big game.
Yep. Yeah, big game. Got 3 in 4A. Warren, Harding Academy, and the Elkins Elks, all sitting at 7-0. And in 3A, one of our favorite teams between me and you, the Salem Greyhounds.
Big fans of the show. Salem's big fans of the show, man.
Yeah. We're big fans of Salem. Big fans.
We'll give Coach Fimple, see if they moved up in the rankings this week.
That's right. I hope so. Hoxie's also undefeated in 3A, and in 2A, you got the Mineral Springs Hornets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Bigelow Panthers, where they get down and dirty in Bigelow, and they're sitting there at 7-0.
Well, keep that list. You keep that list, okay?
All right.
I want you to text to me. Then I'm going to check all their work this week.
Yeah, we'll check their work. But yeah, Hey, big games this week. You got Mills going to Joe T.
Yeah.
I know they're on probation.
Probation.
Yeah, but that's gonna be a big determiner there to who makes playoffs and who's at home, who's on the road. Pine Bluff goes to Morrilton, so not easy to win at Motown. You know that. Valley View and Southside's that big game you're talking about. The one that I really would love to see is Elkins going to Ozark. I think that's going to be
that Mouth's going to that game. He's all over.
Yeah.
Mouth's going to be there, live and in person.
And the other one I really like is Boonville going to Charleston. You know, there hasn't been much talk about Charleston. They lost a couple of non-conference games, but they're undefeated in the league. So that's probably going to determine the conference championship.
Both beat Mansfield.
Yep.
And it sets up just like it is every year with those two. So
yeah. So I get a 2-for-1 this week. I'm going to watch Parkview and Magnolia on Thursday night here in town. Get to see a little double slot that I don't get to see very often from Beefy. And I think Friday night I'm going to ride out to Benton and watch the New Line offense against the Benton Panthers. Probably be a few points scored in that ball game.
Be a few points scored. Benton Panthers, man, they're just dominating that league over there. Just taking prisoners every Friday night.
Yeah,
everything. Well, Danny, we're gonna get you off here. Hey, man, look forward to you next week. Man, these kids are putting up stats unbelievable every week, aren't they?
It is. It's a lot of fun getting to celebrate with them and honor these guys. So thanks for letting me get on here and talk about them.
Yes, sir. We'll see you next week, Danny.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. Well, let's bring him on right now. Coach Daryl Fimple. Okay, man, 8-2 out of shoot last week. Well, I was 7-3. The Mouth was 7-3. Grandma is upset again. She's rolled in at 6-4. Man, huge games last week. Let's do a little recap. Let's start off the one that was up here in the 7A West. Fayetteville just really rolling Bentonville. Got some clarifications. Bentonville's quarterback got hurt. The backup got hurt that Monday night at JV. So that's down to the third string guy. But come to find out, the Bentonville quarterback did not get hurt until late in the third quarter. So Fayetteville
he'd still put up some numbers.
Yeah.
He still had 250 yards passing still.
Oh, I know. And what really, if you read the paper the next day, was Coach Grant talking about how physical Fayetteville was. And that's some telltale signs for, the big picture.
That is because, Bentonville's used to being the most physical team up there most nights. So, him saying that definitely meant something different. But, man, that's why you cancel JV games before the big game. I mean, golly, you never know what's going to go on, man. Poor little sophomore was thrown to the wolves right there. Hey, by the way, I need you to go in there because we lost so-and-so in the JV game. Yeah, I'm sure he was really prepared.
Yeah.
A lot of audibles. Yeah. A lot of audibles there.
I think he was playing JV over at Siloam Springs that Monday. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Daryl Burnett, Hot Springs Trojans going to roll. But I got to put it out there. They didn't play well on the road. Daryl's he sent me a text Friday saying, "Hey, we can play on the road too." They go down there and take care of business. Batesville Southside might be the story of 5A right now.
I'm telling you, they are on a roll there. And like I said, they're out for all kinds of good things to happen. I mean, they're looking at a millage down the pipeline right here. I'm sure they are. They're a town that's on fire with the winning. Hot Springs was very impressive. Maybe you're talking to him on the travel. Maybe they took an extra bus or something, got a little more space. But they really played well towards the end of that game. So both of those were, they were pretty good performances by both teams.
Is that the one that you were at? Let's hit the one that you were at. I mean, the Harrison Alma game. Hell was
4th and 17. I mean, 4th and 17. They blitz, middle blitz, linebacker comes clean, in gets hooked, we roll right, drop a ball over the top. And yes, the reunion was saddened from then on out. Yeah, there was a lot of sad faces in that game. How
was the turnout? The boys, come back.
Oh yeah, we had 22 of the team, 22 of the 24 seniors there.
Wow.
Yeah. We all looked pretty. Well, I thought I looked spectacular compared to some of those guys. But not gonna say anything bad about that, I guess. But
Just
hang out with Coach McSpad. I mean, not Coach McSpad, but Coach McMurray was there, and Coach Witherspoon. So we had a good time. And Coach Abernathy, the world traveler, he was there, and Coach Hall and Coach Flinter. So it was a blast.
Well, Coach Vines could have been there, been topped off, and
well, I'm pretty sure though we would have stormed the field. We would have stormed the field on a touchdown if Coach was there. So I'm glad he wasn't there.
Well, let's get into the big business here. Let's go with your top fives this week. I mean,
man, let me tell you, hey, it kind of lit a fire under the old Bolden Patriots over there. So they went out and they put an exclamation mark. They said, "Hey, Coach, we messed up right here." So my top five battle on is Parkview goes back to number one after the 64-6 on the road Texarkana beatdown. They definitely made a statement in that one. I think two is going to be Fayetteville. This one, I think they're going to jump into the Conway. I'm going to drop Conway and Buck in his 60-game wins right now into third. I got Bryan at 4 and Greenwood. Archer kids back, threw 3 touchdowns in the first half at number 5. And then my special number 5 team right here, right? We got Prescott making the move to 1 at 7-1. The Curly Woods are. Salem, who is just rolling people at 8-0, is on my 2 spot. Boonville's going to slide in at 3 at 5-2. Mineral Springs Hornets 7-0, baby. We've got it going on. We are leading the state of Arkansas in scoring defense. We're allowing 4 points. That's right. 4. That's 2 safeties. We're giving up 2 safeties. I don't know how that's possible. 2 safeties a game, but hey, nipping on our bud here coming up. We got 2 more games for Mineral Springs, and they got Murfreesboro to finish the season, who is also undefeated. So we got a showdown there in about 2 weeks in that league. And then number 5 is going to be Bigelow. Bigelow is rolling at 8-0 too, putting up some big numbers too. And a lot of people got them ranked in front of or right behind Mineral Springs in a lot of the rankings. Our 8-man, hey, Rector's still winning. Rector's still winning. And like I said, they're playing in a whole different league, which is kind of neat to see. But you see some of the 8-man football scores are outrageous. Sounds like a basketball game, like 70-56, and so it's been pretty crazy on that side of things too.
Well, and and Danny, we had him on earlier. He was talking about Bigelow. Just while they're rolling. All right, let's get into our picks here. Got rolling in here. Interesting game right here, and you might have some insight on. We got Southwest, Little Rock Southwest at Jonesboro. Jonesboro just destroyed North Little Rock last week. Have the team not show up, or what do we have going on there?
It was the homecoming thing. Temple at homecoming again.
Oh.
Yeah. They looked spectacular, though.
Yeah.
Jonesboro played really well. 24-0 at the half. They came out and stayed on the gas pedal. Ended up being 37-7. I was really impressed with how quickly they get rid of the football, and they did a really good job of running inside too. But we turned it over, got behind the 8 ball, and lost momentum there. And Jonesboro looked really, really good.
So who are you taking? The Mount's going to take Jonesboro. Grandma Nas taking Jonesboro. I'm on Jonesboro after that performance.
Yeah, I think they made a statement there on that performance. They have a wide receiver named Chris Stacy who had 39 catches with 616 yards and 9 TDs, and that was before the debacle on Friday night. So they've got some playmakers on the outside. I think they got a lot of speed. Southwest has had a really, really hard time guarding people in the secondary. If you look at the passing yards they've given up, so I'm taking Jonesboro on this one.
I like it. Mount Ida at your boys, Mineral Springs. Everybody, Mount's taking Mineral Springs. We're jumped on the wagon. I'm on it. Grandma Nas on it, and I'm going to assume you're on it.
I am all part of the Hornets' Nest. I want a Hornets' Nest shirt. I think that should be something that we call, because it is. Like I said, they have scored 53 points in conference play, or they're averaging 53 points a night and giving up 4. That's right. It's not like a video audio mistake. They're 4 points a night. So their scoring defense is number 1 in the entire state of Arkansas.
I wonder if they're taking safeties. So the defense coordinator.
I don't know how you get 4 either. I don't know how you give up. I don't know. They've given up 28 points in 7 games. That's how you get the 4. I don't know. I wasn't real good at math either, but but it came out to 4 points. I don't know. I don't know if they're taking a knee in the end zone just to give somebody some points. I don't know. But the Hornets' Nest is for real. Mount Ida is 1-5 off to a rough start, so I think Mineral Springs takes this one home.
Hey, bro, got Boonville staying in the West. Boonville at Charleston. Boonville had both of them at tough non-conference schedules. Boonville goes down to Mansfield last week, and
wow,
I think makes a statement. Charleston, them go back and forth. Charleston's defending state champions. These two do not like each other, and it will be a physical game. The Mouse going with Boonville. I'm going with Boonville. Grandma and Nas going with Boonville. I think you're just too physical and too big.
Yeah, Boonville is, man, they're really good on the offensive line. Watched them play, luckily for you can get YouTube channels all over the place, but I watched them play last week against Boonville. Man, they can just line up and bash you, and that's what they've done so far in this league. They're giving up 8 points a night, too. They're scoring at a high rate too. They don't turn it over. They play really fundamentally sound. They'll even go over the top every once in a while on you, which is kind of like a trick play. Yeah, I don't know if it's gets those 8 people out of the box pretty quick. So I'm taking Boonville in this one, even though Charleston has surprises, and like I said, they've been in this fight before. So I look for a really, really competitive game, but I'm going to take Boonville.
Well, that ought to be a war. That crowd will be huge. I mean, there'll be everybody in town. Let's head over to God's Country. We got Gosnell at Rivercrest. Rivercrest lost to Mills earlier this year. And then, Gosnell's kind of been up and down. They're right there by each other. Played for 100 years. The Mouse taking the Gosnell. I'm taking Rivercrest, and Grandma Nas taking Rivercrest. This ought to be Rivercrest is very, very talented. Everybody I talk to, but what do you got in this one?
Rivercrest has always been very, very talented. It wouldn't matter which year you were talking to them. But they're playing Gosnell. Gosnell's got a Sarius Gonzalez who leads them in sacks. He's got 9. He's like in the top 10 in the state of Arkansas. So they can get after the pass rusher. I don't think Rivercrest is going to throw it too much anyway, though. So they're going to be in a world of trouble on that side of the ball. I think Rivercrest takes this one. They're number 1 in the conference right now. I think they're looking forward to get some momentum going into the playoffs.
I don't think
there's a Rivercrest Coats. Rivercrest Coats. That's what
you talking about.
I think they have a horse. You think they actually have a horse that just runs around there? Like
I spent a lot of time over there. My roommate. I
figured they would have like a live mascot at Rivercrest.
Yeah, I think they do. It runs around the square down there a little bit. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
out there in the cotton patch in the field over there, I could see. You never know what you see in Wilson, Arkansas, man. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's probably they probably sell raffle tickets to see who can ride the colt. Maybe this is something to
fundraising. We got fundraising.
Yeah, exactly. We got to buy them conference championship shirts. It looks like
exactly. Well, let's go to the 5A South. Seems like we got a game with them every week because they just beat up on each other. We got Hodge Springs, who won on the road last week at Magnolia, Coach Daryl Burnett and crew, traveling to Texarkana. Coach Outlaw, they'll surprise you. They've won a few. They're at home. Let's see. The Mouse taking the Trojans, the Hot Springs. Grandma Nas taking the Trojans. I'm a believer now. We won on the road. Let's see what we did 2 times in a row.
We can travel.
I'm going to take I'm going to take Hot Springs. Break it down for me.
Well, Texarkana's on a 3-game losing streak right now. So the momentum, the Razorbacks had it on early as they've got into conference play and kind of struggled a little bit here. Hot Springs has gotten hot. Like I said, they've won on the road now at a tough place like Magnolia. So they've got that, propelling them to this game. So I think Hot Springs, they've got a wide receiver with 33 catches and 565 yards and 10 TDs, TJ Borgen. So I'm going to say that Hot Springs is going to win this one by 10. And I think that, like I said, they're putting themselves right into that second hole in that league.
Well, they really are, and they got some good games left. All right, heading over to Eastern Arkansas. This team we talked about on the recap earlier. We got Valley View, who was right there with Nettleton, preseason picks as far as winning that conference, and then all of a sudden Here comes Batesville Southside. Take care of Nettleton last week. We got Valley View at Batesville Southside. Grandma Nas taking Valley View. The Mouse taking Batesville Southside. I'm going to take Batesville Southside on this one. It's been back and forth. Look out for special teams plays in this. Batesville Southside's had trouble against those guys in special teams last couple of weeks, and they got a great, Valley View's got a great return. They block punts. If Batesville Southside can shore that up, they got a chance to win this one. If they don't, they're going to probably lose. But I'm going to take Batesville Southside.
Well, Batesville Southside did a really, really good job against Nettleton last week of stopping the run. That's because they've got, I like to call them the nickname defense over here, because they've got some great names on the defensive side. They've got Jackson Wham Bam Womack. He's got 75 tackles coming in the game. You got Lewis Cab Callaway Calhoun with 65 tackles. You got Andrew, I don't need a plumber. He's got 100 tackles. And I got Isaac the Wall Wallace. He's got 78 tackles. So they're really good. Their front seven's really, really good over there at Southside. They've got a running back with Gabe Witt. He's got 77 carries for 750 yards, almost 10 yards of whack. It's kind of explosive with 12 touchdowns. So they're really, really tough. They haven't been beat at home. Like I said, they're moving up the rankings. They got them number 3 right now in 5A. Valley View on the flip side, they're 4 in 5A. They're 7-1 also. They're putting up some outrageous numbers. Their quarterback's 71 out of 102 for 1,250 yards and over 16 touchdowns. So this is going to be an exciting one right here.
Oh, man.
But I'm going to go with Old Mo, and I think Southside Batesville's got that momentum on their side right now. I think they're ready to shock the entire state of Arkansas, so I'm taking Batesville on this one.
Well,
It's going to be close, though. It might be the best of the night. Yeah.
You talking field goal? You talking going for 2 at the end of the game? You talking about 1 or 2 points?
Oh, we're scooter register all the time, baby. We're going for 2 every chance we get. We ain't kicking no field goal. We ain't going to overtime. You don't practice 5 quarters. You practice 4. You just go for the win.
They do.
Our guy does.
All right, this one right here is a very interesting. We're going back up here to Northwest Arkansas. You know, this is a rival game, and Bentonville is dominant. You got Bentonville at Rogers. Now, Bentonville, like I said, I hear thinking quarterback will be back. Don't think he's going to be back this week, though. Down to third-string quarterback. Can Coach Dan Howard, can he get something mustered to score enough points? Rogers is very explosive offensively. They've had some injuries also. Man, this is kind of, you talk to some people, they'll go one way. Can Bentonville figure a way, to win this game ugly? Or this is Rogers' time, catching Bentonville at the right time? Mouse going with Rogers. Grandma Nas going with Bentonville. I'm going to go with Rogers. I don't know why, but I think that quarterback issue, they're playing at home after the loss at Fayetteville. Be real interesting how they bounce back. They're right there. Bentonville's got to grind this thing out. Your take?
If I was Bentonville, I would see if I could move C.J. Brown to quarterback. If I didn't have one, we'll just snap it to C.J. and see what he does. The quarterback is a big issue here. Or do they just kind of dummy the offense down and, throw bubbles and easy stuff to get completions and see what they can do? But man, Rogers can score so many points. 677 yards last week. 677 yards in one game against Springdale. Rogers is off to 5-2. They lost a tough one. A tough one against Bentonville West. So they've got a quarterback. He's 92 of 165. Dane Williams. He's got over 25 touchdowns, 2,000 yards passing. And like I said, he had 465 yards passing and 5 TDs against Springdale last week. These are video game numbers. All right. This guy is some 12-year-old is drinking the milk and eating a Cosmo brownie and playing a video game and getting numbers like this guy right here. So they're explosive on offense. I don't know if Bentonville without their quarterback is going to be the big key. Can they keep up? Because they're going to give up points.
Yeah.
So I'm really liking, and this game's I've been back and forth on because you don't really know. But, I'd like to know if Bentonville canceled their JV game tonight. Or that would probably help us a time or two. But if they didn't, I think I'm going to take Rogers in this one.
Oh,
I'm going to roll the dice and put Rogers, which would propel them into a really tight race. It actually helps Bentonville West too.
Oh,
It
yeah.
actually helps West. We would have a debacle up there, 2nd through 4th.
Yeah, because Bentonville's got Rogers, probably Springdale, and then end up with West and South Side, and Rogers are kind of all eyeballing that 3 spot because they had a perfect triangle, and you got this Bentonville old injury deal, and this thing will come down the wire. All right, let's go to this one. This was a game we've been waiting on all year long. Talked about this summer, and we've got Ozark at Elkins. At this, what we're going to do is, I'm lucky enough, we're going to bring on Coach Jeremy Burns, the head coach at Ozark, and then we're going to bring on Coach Zach Watson from Elkins, and we'll talk about this game when we get through. Here's our BSN guest of the week, Coach Jeremy Burns, and then we'll go after that. Will be Coach Watson from Elkins. Man, the Hillbillies are rolling. Huge game this week against Elkins. Let's just be honest with you. We talked to you in July. We were sitting back and been waiting a couple months for this game. I mean, it's hyped up. They're undefeated, and you know, y'all both kind of been at the top of this league for a while, and it's going to be, you got them at home. The mouth's going to be there. He's fired up about it. So talk to us. We talked to you earlier this summer about your team. Talk to us just where we're at health-wise, where we're at progression-wise right now, rolling in, getting ready for playoffs. You know, let's kind of throw it out here. This is probably for the conference championship. Where's your team at this point in time?
Well, definitely. You know, we had a good run so far in the conference. We've been pretty healthy all the way through. You know, speaking of Elkins, you know, they were conference champs last year, so our guys have kind of had this penciled in, circled on the calendar, you know, for 365 days, you know, since last year. They've been wanting this. So been putting in everything we can, offense, defense, to try to slow these guys down and be able to score some points. So we're going to see how it goes Friday. Do have them at home. Talk to a lot of people. It's going to be a big night. Lots of people are coming down to watch the game, whether it be from Elkins or Ozark or, you know, neighboring towns. You know, they're looking forward to this game. It's they got a high octane offense. Elkins does. Coach Watson and those guys doing a great job, you know, with those guys getting them lined out. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. You know, we've you know, looking forward to it, and it's going to be a big night. Weather's supposed to be great, so it'll be a great night for 4A football, you know, and see what happens.
Man, I think you're going to have a huge crowd. You know, Elkins is putting up big numbers. I mean, they're you know, Zach's done that wherever he's gone. Obviously, you know, I got to see them this summer in person and watched a bunch of their games this year. You know, very talented at the skill position. Very, you know, running backs great. Dizzy Dean can throw it around. You know, they got those receivers and guys. I mean, Ozark's been known, and it's your MO. You know, you're a big, strong, physical team. Do we play takeaway, keep them, or is our best defense keeping their on them guys on the sideline? Talk to us what you got to do to win this game.
I mean, it's kind of one of those deals, you know, with their offense. What are you going to do? You're going to take away the pass, and then Cheers is going to turn loose on you. You're going to try to take away the run, and then you got Dizzy and all those athletes out there at receiver that can do some stuff. So we've worked on both. We're going to try to mix it up, give some different looks defensive-wise. As far as offense, you know, I feel like this year with Kobe Wilbanks at quarterback, we're able to push the ball down the field a little bit. We got a little bit of talent out there at the receiver spots as well too. So we could take a few shots. We've done that here, you know, the last few weeks. Take a few shots down the field, but like you said, we don't get too far away from the run. We've got some big guys up front. We feel like can move, not super big, but we can move pretty well and get after it. So we'll you know, be able to mix it up a little bit. They've got some talent and on the defensive side of the ball, and they rotate, you know, too deep on linebackers and defensive line. Number 80 for them, and their number 9 and their linebackers fly the football. Some of the best we've seen all year. Then you got this guys in the secondary can fly around and play man. So we're going to have to do some things that, you know, traditionally we haven't done. But I feel like this year we've got a little bit more in the bag there that we can, you know, draw out if we need to, and try to get Kobe to stretch the field and get those guys in some space. MJ Parker's doing a great job there, making some plays, and then Kobe with his legs, doing some things like that up front, to get him free. So we'll see what happens, how they line up and play us, and kind of evaluate, play by play.
Well, I'm gonna get you off here with this question. I want you to talk about this young man, this Wilbanks kid. I mean, every Friday night I get home, put the highlights on this guy. He's throwing passes. He's running all over people. He's running around them. He's running through them. Guy's unbelievable. And talk to me about his progression. And I mean, do you see this coming? Or I mean, the guy's he's all over the place.
He is one of the hardest workers we've had come through here. As far as junior high, he led us there. Last year we had him at receiver and secondary. He wasn't quite ready quarterback wise, but man, he hit the weight room on the off season. He lifted through basketball, lifted through baseball season, then came back here. And he gets up early and goes. He goes late to the weight room, and he's healthy. That's one thing in junior high. Sometimes he'd get banged up a little bit, but man, he's put some muscle on. He's throwing the ball really well and making good decisions too. He's got a really good head on his shoulder. I've been really proud of him there, the way he's progressed. He's just a junior, but man, somebody better take a look at this guy, because he can run really well, and he's got a good arm that can throw it down the field too. So look forward to trying to keep him healthy and keep rolling with him, because he's a difference maker for us on the team on the field. So.
Well, and I agree with you. Like I said, I watched a little film, but more on highlights. And I agree with you. If you're a college football coach, you better get down to Ozark. They got a football player down there that somebody needs to get.
If it's not a quarterback, I mean, he could play receiver. He made some big catches last year. He's working on his highlight film on that from last year, getting some of his big plays there. But he also plays free safety, and so hopefully he'll keep getting better on both sides of the ball, and somebody could pick him up somewhere and get a good steal out. That's good. He's smart, got real good grades. Hadn't taken the ACT yet, but man, he makes a good decision in the power read game for us on the running part, and then like I said, running the pass routes and things like that. He's doing a lot better than it was last year for sure.
Well, good deal. I hope that young man has a great game. Hey, we get you off here. Hey, good luck to you. Hey. We're gonna have Coach Fimple on here in a little bit doing her picks. We're kind of working up to your game here, and he's really. The word is there's word on the Kibble Mafia could show up over at Hillbilly Stadium. I mean, it could be there.
Hey, if you grew up at the corner of Hammer Road and Highway 162, you're part of the Mafia. So if you've been over there playing cards with Papa T and all those guys, you're part of it. So those guys had some good memories from growing up at Fimp's house over there.
Well, I hear they're coming. And the mouth has circled this on his date. He's supposed to. I bet he's there at 9:00 Friday. I mean, he'd be the only. Yeah, he's there early.
I'm really surprised he hadn't. I'm really surprised he ain't tried to call me yet. I've been waiting on that call to see if he's coming. So I'll have my phone on.
He's been out on so many assignments and doing some stuff here the last couple weeks. Plus, he's been a little pressure on the Hogs. So we had to bring him back.
Yeah,
we had to bring him back a little bit, but. He's fired up, and but he'll be there Friday night. Well, Coach, good luck to you. Hey, man, we'll be checking your work, and hope you stay healthy and go a long ways.
Hey, appreciate it, Coach, man. We'll see you after a while.
Let's bring on our BSN guest, Zach Watson, head coach at Elkins. Hey, Coach, you're one of the very few undefeated teams. We just had this discussion before we come on. How many were left, and you're on that list, and Coach Daryl Fimple's had y'all in the top five, all last 2 or 3 weeks. He's fired up about you guys.
Yeah, his favorite top five.
His favorite. That's right. But in the big scheme of things, that's the only thing that matters to him. I mean, that's right. I mean, that's it. He didn't care about the rest of the teams. Huge game. I mean, we've been waiting on this baby since July, man. I remember sitting in here in July and Kyle Sutherland, Bray, the Mouth. We were talking about you guys and talking about this matchup. Y'all done your part all the way up to here. Ozark's done their part, and everybody's looking for a great game. Had Coach Burns on earlier. This Wilbanks kid, he's a heck of a player. Been watching him on the highlights. I mean, the guy does everything. I mean, he throws it, he runs it. I mean, he averages a first down every time he runs the ball. Unbelievable guy. your bunch, Dizzy Dean's throwing behind his back, doing whatever he needs to do. Got the receivers rolled. If we're going to load, we're going to play the pass. We're going to be able to run it with them. Well, you got all kinds of players everywhere. It must be fun. I mean, you're just dialing stuff up. You're
that makes me a good coach, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you're like having the Dolphins, man. I mean, you're just having fun with it and everything. Well, talk to us about this. Where your team's at, health-wise. You know, everybody's got their bumps and bruises this year. In the progression part of it, man, y'all just unbelievable putting numbers up. Talk to me about your team and where you're at in the process through the season.
Yeah, no doubt. We've got a great team, great senior leadership. You spoke earlier about Dizzy Dean. We got Deshaun Chairs. We've got some guys up front. Right now, we're real healthy. We're lucky at this late in the season. You know, you've always got somebody banged up. If you look at last year's matchup, our best offensive tackle was out, and one of their best offensive linemen was out at this point. But coming into this Friday, they're healthy and we're healthy. And so it's going to be a great matchup. Now, we talk about stacking days, and that's what we've been trying to do is stack good days on top of good days and never taking a step back. And I thought the maturation of our team and where we're at right now, we're doing that, and we're getting better as the season's going on. When I'm pleased with that.
Well, it's obvious. I mean, just the point total and, you know, defensively, you played well. I mean, you can't, you know, everybody will coach, you know, they're going to watch film. They're going to find something. I mean, that's just part of it. Anybody's ever played perfect. But you guys have played really well. Well, let's talk about Ozark a little bit. I mean,
yeah, you said it earlier. Will Banks.
Yeah,
you know,
unbelievable.
You got to stop that dude. And maybe not stop him because that might be a tall task, but you got to minimize what he does. And you kind of got to keep him in the pocket and not let it break down. Our edge players have got to play real well, you know, and they've got to, and our safeties have got to come down and fit in the run game a little bit. So, big up front. I don't know what Coach Burns puts in the water, feeds those hillbillies, but man, they are ginormous. You know, you look at a Vandenberg, you know, he's 6'4", 300 pounds, and they've got guys like that on their front, on their offensive and defensive line. So definitely got to, you know, come off the football with a little aggression or they're going to maul you. And so it's going to be a good matchup. And then defensively, they returned 9 of 11 on defense. So going to be better than what they were last year, and they were still good last year. And so our offense has got to be ready. We can't turn it over. I think that's what's a big thing that's helped us put up a lot of points is we're not turning the ball over. You got, you know, Dizzy back there is 80% completion percentage, something like top 5 in the nation, man. Wow. And so he's not putting it in trouble, and he's got to continue to do that on Friday night.
Well, if you brought up the Will Banks, in the Mouse going to be there. I mean, there's the Kibble Mafia's coming out. We got all kinds of people coming out for this game. I mean, ain't nobody going to be in Elkins. Everybody in Ozark's going to be there. So, I mean, I've heard they're closing down the gas station, you know, the one you pull off. They got all the barbecue food. They're closing that down, and everybody's going to be there. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable matchup, and really, you know, it's such a big key for you guys getting that 1 seed and being at home for a while. You know,
no doubt, yeah. I think, you know, kind of the winner of this football game, and we've got Ozark's got some big games coming after us, and we've got some big games, but it puts that person in the driver's seat a little bit. And it kind of gets you opposite some of those teams that are in the 4A that are tough, the Malverns, the Hardings, the Warrens. You know, it kind of sets you up where you can kind of control your own destiny for a little while. Eventually, you're going to have to get to those guys and play them, but it lets you have some advantages in the playoffs.
Well, it does, because let's just be honest, up here in Northwest Arkansas, it gets cold.
Yeah, it's elk weather, man.
It ain't. I got coaches out of Arkansas. It ain't the same weather. You know, you get to the people up here, it's cold and ball's a little slicker. You get hit, it hurts a little more. And it's a big deal. Well, Coach, good luck to you. I appreciate you coming on. Man, you guys stay healthy and keep rolling, baby.
You bet. I appreciate you, Coach Williams. Coach Bray, good luck, man. Coach Cook.
Take care, man. Man, I tell you what, this is such a big game up here. I mean, Elkins won last year, won the conference. Coach Burns has dominated that conference. Coach Burns, breaking out the jacket. We're breaking out the jacket.
Gold jacket game of the week right here. Gold jacket, baby. We've all been waiting for this. This is the seller of tickets, man. I'm styling and profiling up in here. This is a big time game. Big time game right here. I mean, I heard ESPN 6 might come to this game right here. They might be all over this one. So we've been waiting on this. This is going to be great.
Well, the Mouth's going to be there. He's live in person. Supposed to get there about 9 o'clock. That's the way the Mouth rolls, and he is fired up for this one. Ozark's big and physical. Elkins has got speed everywhere. They can throw it around. Dizzy Dean, ain't nobody stopped him. That you're going to get on the numbers. It's unbelievable. Here's what we got. Of course, the Mouth, who loves Coach Burns. I mean, we're talking. I mean, this guy, the Mouth brings this back. So you know who the Mouth's going. I mean, he brings this back to the studio, fired up, wants it on the table. And this is what it's all about right there. Mouth's going to go with Ozark. Grandma Na's going with Ozark. I hate to do this to the Kibler Mafia, but I think Elkins has just got too much firepower for him.
Boy, do they have some firepower. They have got some firepower. They have got a quarterback. He's up there untouchable right now. They haven't got to him. They've got a great running back in the Chairs kid. The scoring offense, they're number one in scoring offense in the entire state of Arkansas. They're averaging over 52.8 points. You can't get in the top 10, by the way, if you have less than 45 points a night. You just hear that stat? I mean, good God almighty. I mean, that's unbelievable. The only school that's 4A or above in scoring defense is Conway at number 10. That's the only defense we've got that's actually slowing some people down. So I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, this game's going to be electric. I mean, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I'm sure there's going to be some barbecue plates placed out there and passed out around the crowd with some chili nachos. I'm sure it's going to be sold. There's going to be some chili nachos there. But Elkins, like I said, they're explosive. They are leading the state in scoring. They can do it in multiple ways. Then Ozark's got a great front five. Their offensive linemen are spectacular. The Wilbanks kid, they do so many different things with him. But last week he had 20 carries for 251 yards, 5 TDs. He threw it for 107 and another touchdown. Like I said, they're trying to get the guy the Heisman. He wasn't bubble wrap again all this week. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards with 16 touchdowns. He's averaging 9.2 yards a carry. You get that? The guy's running for a first down. All right. First down every time. So he's done a spectacular job. The secret to this, probably the most important person for Ozark, is going to be a guy named Gavin Gilbreth. You know what Gavin does? Gavin's a grocery man. He carries your groceries because he likes to sack them. He's got 8 sacks on the year. So I'm looking for him to probably move Gavin around, kind of get after him so he can get after Dizzy, which is a great name for a quarterback. So in this game, I know it's tough, and I might even sneak down there to the Kibler Mafia and see what we can support. But like you said, man, I think Elkins can score a bunch of points. I don't know if Ozark can keep up with them. This could be a track meet, but I'm going to take Elkins in this one.
Well, I've been gearing up for this one, and I've studied both of them, and Elkins got shot, man. They got both teams there. I mean, Burns has always made long playoff runs. Both of them teams stay healthy, they're going to make a run. Here's the thing is they'll be away from each other. That's all you got. Sometimes you just got to get away from the. Just got to move on.
Yeah, you just got to get away from the bad matchup in the playoffs, and that's what we're running into here. You know, a lot of these teams, next 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to figure out how fast you can get away from somebody.
That's exactly right. You got to break the bracket out every now and then.
Exactly.
Start checking everybody's working and you know where you need to go. And it's the easiest way to get there, you know.
Exactly.
Well, Coach, talk to us about this. Where you headed Friday? I know you kind of talked about maybe the Mafia, but I don't know what you got going on.
Well, we are actually at home against Northside.
Oh.
So I might vacate that game. I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't know about that one. Yeah. But I think I'm going to make the travel down there to Ozark, stop there at Workman's, get me a Coke and a hot dog, and slide on over there in Ozark. Hey, maybe Mr. Workman will see this and give us a sponsorship because we might be in the house. I don't know which side I'm going to be able to sit on, and I'm probably going to wear this gold jacket just to see how many pictures.
Well, you will. I mean, you get our subscribers would. Just
why not?
Off the roof here this week.
Why not? Why not, man? Well, you just get involved here. I mean, what a fun game that'll be. I mean, both communities, like I said, there's nothing like small town Arkansas, especially football season.
Oh, there's no doubt. No doubt. Well, Coach, see you next week. They got some gear coming for you this week. We're going to
Hey,
get
man, I'm excited.
We're
I'm
going to take
excited.
care and everything. Well, we'll see you next week. Man, week 9, it's hard to believe. And then we're going to get in those playoffs. And
Oh man, we're gonna get them last week of the year games.
Oh yeah.
You look ahead of them last 2 weeks, man. You got some people that really don't like each other that are going to be juggling for spots.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, fired up. We'll see you next week, man. Good luck on your picks this week. I'll be texting, talking, and we'll be checking everybody's work and your work too.
Over now.
Well, let's go ahead and bring him on now. Let's talk a little NFL and college football. Let's go ahead and bring him on, our guru, Mr. Triple Crown himself, Derek, for our BSN Guest of the Week.
Well, let's bring him on now, BSN guest, Mr. Triple Crown Derek. Hey, last week, I told you last week, stay away from Notre Dame. We're going to get all the Notre Dame. I told you before I get started, and they go down there. And they just kill USC. I mean, it's not even – I'm fixing to say this. And I listened, and I like Lincoln Riley and all that deal. Don't know about that. That's the most overhyped football team in the nation. They got a great quarterback. He's all unbelievable. But it's a one-man show with those guys.
You know, I've been, obviously, you said don't know Notre Dame, and I was off of them, because they couldn't score, right? I really thought, and I think everybody thought, and USC's defense is that bad. But in addition, they made the Heisman quarterback. I mean, he had 3 interceptions the first half.
Yeah.
But going into the game, he had 28 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. He had 3 before he came out in the second half. With that, I mean, it shows Notre Dame does got a damn good defense, and he was giving them the ball like inside the 5 and on the 2, right? I mean, hell, who couldn't score then, right? But so turnovers killed him, man. Yeah. I mean, but in addition, he has no defense. So they can't play with, after watching the game that we did pick, the Oregon and Washington game, which I thought was an incredible.
Oh, what a game. What a game. What a game in the ultimate, he coaches there at Oregon, and man, that thing went back and forth, fourth down here or there. There's no difference in those football teams. You could probably go to Oregon, take Washington, go to Oregon, same results, vice versa. I think those teams, both of those teams, when they get that top 4 look, they need to look at it.
No, they really do. I was right there at the end of the game. I think Oregon was up by like 4 or something like that, whatever it was, and they gave Washington the ball back. And Penix Jr. scored in 2 plays. I was like, that was too fast.
Yeah.
Like a minute 20 left. I was like, what are we doing? I mean, what are they doing? So it's whoever had, literally, I know they say it all the time on TV, whoever had the damn ball last was winning that game. So that was a good one. We hit that one. We hit Miami at North Carolina. We took North Carolina. That was a smoke show, right?
Man, that's another thing there is North Carolina. The old man over there, the whole man can coach. I mean, the old man can coach. I mean, and he's over there writing things down and, giving the inspirations. That old man can coach, and he can recruit, and he's got some really good players.
We've got a damn good quarterback, Drake May. He's a good quarterback. You can tell he's got a lot of experience underneath him. And then, I was also shocked with Louisville and Pitt. We had Louisville. Louisville stomped Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Right. Then they come into Pitt, who has won 1 game all year, 1-4. And literally do the same thing. It's all it was so those 2 games it was turnovers. Every time they got the ball, the quarterback was throwing an Plummer, hell of a quarterback for Louisville, but he was throwing interceptions every play. If they'd have stuck to the run that game, they would have dominated that game. But so we didn't do well on USC and Louisville, but we hit North Carolina, Washington. After we hit Washington, I was happy. I was like, all right, here we go. Didn't work out. So then we go to Sunday, right? Sunday we played five different games, hit 3 of them, and I had them keyed with Oregon from the day before, and I was thinking, all right, I play baseball, had some baseball games picked. I was like, here we go, had some big tickets rolling, and I was so mad at the 49ers. They lost to the Browns, but it shows that in NFL, a good defense, the Browns, I read a stat, they had like 70 points scored on them all year.
Well, and here's the deal with that. And I heard another stat. They got the best defense right now statistically since 1972, which I think we know who that defense was.
Yeah.
The team, Miami Dolphins. But the Browns, statistically, Jim Schwartz is going there. He's a great coach. I was at the Lions, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Is a great, Belichick disciple, the whole 9 yards. And they're, Myles Garrett, he's doing things with him, letting him loose, and they are physical on defense. But the 49ers, that's what I'm talking about, though. We talked about this last week with them. They are physical, and they get people hurt. And, there's Tebow, and there goes McCaffrey. And so, with those guys, I think they got probably the best team in the NFC. But were those guys, are they healthy when it counts?
When it counts. That's exactly right. You hit it right on the head, because when McCaffrey went out of the game, right, with his oblique injury, first it was Deebo, and I was like, okay, they can stand without him. But then when McCaffrey went out, that was a game changer, because it put all pressure completely on the quarterback, and they were on his ass. I'm sorry my language, but they were all over him and hitting him left and right. And so that game, I was so upset. And then it rolled to the Eagles, and it was just like, well, at that point, I was the Eagles and the Jets. The Eagles couldn't score in the second half, right? And so that was kind of a shock to me. But it does show that I think everybody's in this boat of, what if Aaron Rodgers would have been playing right? Like, what would that offense have been? Because they do got a good defense. And so anyway, so we went 3 of 5 on NFL. So this going to get into picks this week?
Let's go ahead. Let's enter college right now. Let's go with it.
All right. So got an early slate. And so if you got, some time on Saturday morning and you want to kind of get your bets going early in the morning, that's what the way I keyed this. And it's just the games I like. There's some marquee games in here as well. So the first one that I'm picking is number 7 Penn State at Ohio State, and I'll take Penn State plus the 4.5 points. We're going to take the points. Penn State's got an awesome defense, right? And they literally have been shutting people down, beating them down. And I bet Ohio State earlier in the year to cover a spread. They won, obviously, right? The number 3, but they didn't look as good, And I think that they got a young quarterback. I really think if Penn State's defense puts the pressure on him, then I think Penn State's going to own that game. That's probably the game of the day, I would imagine.
Well, and I think so. And they've struggled with Ohio State, in that part of it. And I think this is, listening to James Franklin and knowing a few people here or there. Well, they're really putting a lot on this game right here. I mean, they're putting it all in the basket at home, the whole 9 yards. So it's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a real good game. The second game I've got Old Malzahn, UCF at Oklahoma. Oklahoma looked good a couple weeks ago against Texas, right? And so the line on this is minus 19. I think you could play it there if you wanted, but I'm going to move it down to below 2 touchdowns. I like doing that. Y'all know I do that a lot. And so I'm going to move it down to minus 13.5. You don't give up that much odds. And so I'm expecting Oklahoma to which is number 6, to beat UCF by at least 2 touchdowns. And then the third and last game, circling back, it's time for the Hogs to win.
Whoa, here we go, man. Oh, you're the kiss of death. Betting on the Hogs, man. And I know about these guys. It's like, hey, I'll never bet on the Razorback. Just, here we go. I like it.
They're going to win. KJ's going to show up, and I think the defense shows up this week. And we're going to give the 6 points. And so that's going to increase our odds really good. So we're going to take Penn State plus the points. Oklahoma, you're going to buy it down to below 2 touchdowns. Hogs minus 6, because we're going to win by a touchdown. And you get plus 450, so just under 5-1 odds. So I think that's a good early slate on Saturday. And so that's what I would suggest on Saturday. On Sunday, we go to the NFL. I'm doing a 4-game parlay there. And what we've got going on here early, the Bills at the Pats. I'm going to take the Bills money line. The reason I'm going to do that, the line's minus 8.5. The reason you take the money line on Bills is a lot of people don't realize that Josh Allen hurt his shoulder on last Sunday. He got a he didn't get a concussion. He went to the blue tent, and then they didn't tell anybody, but he hurt his arm in that game. And everybody was like, "How in the hell did the Giants keep up with the Bills?" Right? Well, he didn't have an arm. So if you know, go back in the game, he didn't throw a lot, and so but still, the Pats are bad, right? And I think that the Bills will still pull this one out. They need to win. Look, the Jets are winning in that division. We talked about that division before. The Dolphins are winning in that division, and so they need to win. And the Pats is an easy win that they have to have. So I'll take the Bills there. The next game is the Commanders at the Giants. Actually, I thought the Giants looked better with Taylor back.
They did.
He would move and he would make decisions and he would extend the play. And of course, they had Barkley back. But I was on the Commanders a couple weeks ago whenever they played the Bears. I think the Bears finally showed up. Justin Fields finally showed up a couple weeks ago, and we ran into a freight train. And so I'll take the Commanders. The line's -2, buy it to +3. And if you do this with like Oaklawn Anywhere or Saracen, the lines don't move much by buying it to +3. You would think it would, and it doesn't. So be conservative. Go to the +3 with the Commanders. If that becomes a game, it's going to be a close game. I think Commanders will beat them though. The third game I've got is Dolphins at the Eagles, and this is a really good game. Dolphins are underdogs, 2.5 points. I'm going to buy it above a touchdown, 7.5. Dolphins right now are probably the best. I mean, they are the best offense in football, I think. I mean, we talked about, everybody knows I like San Fran, but those receivers they have are incredible. And then the running backs are really good as well. It's just if their defense can hang up with the Eagles. The Eagles, it depends on how they're going to come out in regards to their loss last week, right? So they could come out, a lot of times after a loss like that and do something. But I'm struggling with the Eagles, Jeff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think it's Hurts as the quarterback. I think he's kind of like, he reminds me a lot of Dak when Dak was younger and he could scramble. And, it's to a point, they've got the little shove, but if they, I saw they picked up Julio, but they got A.J. Brown and Smith. And they brought in Swift, the running back, and they got Gainwell. They got pieces. Their defense is good, but I just don't see them doing it. Like, I still, to this day, last year, I don't think they would have made it to the Super Bowl if the 49ers were healthy.
Yeah. And they got some injuries in the secondary, too. Now, their front seven is killing everybody, but their secondary, they've got injuries on back end back there, too. And Hurts is throwing – you never know about guys. They bounce back, and Jalen's bounced back his whole career, but he doesn't look as comfortable. He's throwing more picks, know. Now he'll go 28 for 30 against the Cowboys, throw 500 yards, but right now that's what I'm saying is he's looking, it ain't there. Now he's taking off, or he's throwing picks, throwing, and they worked on the deep ball, and he's throwing it up there. Right, A.J. Brown, I throw it up there to him too, but I'm with you on the Eagles, and I hope they stay that way.
Yeah, exactly. And if anything, it's on this game, I think it's safe. It's going to stay a one-score game, and that's why I buy it to 7. A lot of people are like, why would you pick that game? Because I think it's a one-score game, and with the points, I think the Dolphins is the value there. And then again, they're going against the Bills. They've got some good competition in that division. The last game I really was looking. There's some other games that were really hard, right? And so I'm going back to San Fran. I don't see them losing to the Vikings on Monday Night Football. The Dolphins game, by the way, that's a Sunday night game, and so I like that because after I win early games, and I can go and I can have a game to watch that night. And then the Monday night, you roll it all to Monday night. San Fran plays at Vikings, and I've been doing some reading. McCaffrey's okay, right? And so he's the difference maker. He's there. They're going to stomp the Vikings without Justin Jefferson. So the line on that's -7. Then again, moving the lines, go to +1. You parlay all these, you get 3-1. It's not bad odds, to be honest. If you really think that these NFL games stay within one score, which they have been. Look, and a lot of people are like, why would you push it to +1? Just hit money line. If you'd have hit +1 last week with the 49ers, you would put, right? Because they lost by 1 point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when the odds on these betting sites are the exact same, then take it, right? And that's why you've got to play with the teaser a little bit.
So let me recap here. You got the Bills morning line, Commanders +3.
Yep.
And then the Dolphins -7.5.
+7.
+7.5.
Yep.
And then +1 with the 49ers.
Yep. That's what we got.
Yeah,
And,
I think but now, you got to look at the 49ers, those injuries, but they're going to bounce back. I mean, you know how that goes.
they're going to bounce back. I mean, they literally, that defense was going into playing the Vikings defense versus playing that Browns defense is going to be like playing high school football, right? Versus playing pro. And with that, I mean, Greenlaw was out, and I think he's out still, but he's a key piece.
Big
defense. They had to move over. I can't remember his name. The other big linebacker they had to move him over to the middle linebacker. He wasn't comfortable. Yeah. But with that, even without Debo, 49ers bounced back. Elijah Mitchell's getting healthy again, and after McCaffrey went out last week, I think they tried to throw him in and run some, and if you notice, he ran 2 plays and they pulled him back out. But with that, McCaffrey's going to be back, and they'll be fine. So,
well, and I'll tell you what scares you about them too is he lost to injuries. No, Brock Purdy, I got a roommate, I'm making $25 an hour. Quarterback in the NFL. I got my fiance, and we got another guy, or I don't know that situation. They give that guy a raise a little bit or something, but he takes them and drives them all the way down the field, and they got stopped with the field goal, and so that's a little scary too, right there. I mean,
it is scary, and it makes you sit there and think of like, how can you have a good team like that? And I was talking to my dad about this. I said, how could you have a good team? You did everything you're supposed to do in a game that you should have really won at the end of the game. And then you've got a rookie kicker. I know he's one of the best kickers in college history, right? Supposedly. How can you have a rookie kicker? Okay, like if I have your franchise is dependent upon it. I think I would have a kicker, right? That I know could make a one right down the middle. So I know kickers. They get
and I'm gonna tell you a story about this. It's a good story, everybody. This is a top notch story. So Arkansas played Texas a couple years ago. I think it's Coach Pittman's second year at Arkansas, and I was attending the game, and we're sitting up there. Me and Coach Linda, we're fired up, and Hogs win, and she says, "Hey, we are going down," and I thought we were going to the car. I thought we could, it'd be a great idea, kind of beat everybody there and all. And she said, "No, we're going down to the field," and so we stormed the field. And I remember running into Dow Loggins. He was coming off his son. He said, "Coach Williams, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm storming the field like an 18-year-old, like an idiot." And so I'm out there running around. Happened to go up and talk to Jerry Jones with Greg the Leg at the time, who we just played Tampa Bay. He missed a couple kicks. Ran into Mr. Jones, said, "Hey, we're going to do something about this kicker. I mean, we're trying to win the Super Bowl. And he gets into it about, how great Greg the Leg is, and he's good. But I'm done with him after they missed a couple. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm always done with it. And so it's beyond me to hit that point. If you're going to win, I mean, everything's down to the Super Bowl, and you're going to jog a rookie kicker out there.
I know, right? Like, I mean,
Cam Little, I'm all on that guy.
Hey, exactly. From 50. Let him kick it on second down just so we don't turn it over.
I'm telling you, he got unbelievable.
That's the thing in that game, Jeff, is that with 49ers, they had like 50 seconds left. It's like, get closer. Like, what are we doing? Like, just go ahead and score. But he was like, we're fine. He was settling for it, right? He was settling. Like they were saying that Shanahan ran like 2 plays in the last like minute and a half, right? And this is a team that could sit there but I get it. He was trying to kick it on third down in case it was a bad snap, and he got it in the middle of the field. I get it all, right? But it's just like, damn, don't even put your kicker in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are every week, I mean, it's getting down to those guys. You hate it in that part of it, but they're very talented, very, very talented.
Incredible. I mean, I wish I was a kicker.
I guarantee it. But the 49ers need to pay their quarterback. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Come on.
That is true. I agree with that. But that's what we got this week, Jeff.
All right. Well, Derek, good luck to you, man. Hey, tell our viewers how to find you, as usual.
Yeah. So it's getting better on TikTok. Follow Triple Crown. I link it to the Instagram. Still, this whole year, I've already made a decision just based on time and me trying to get things together. I'm doing it. I'm gonna post every night. I'm actually some nights. If you also look, if there's a good MLB baseball game on, or a standard night, I will post every now and then a parlay that I'm playing. And I'll tell you this: if I post, I'm playing it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm one of these guys that are just out here picking things. If I post, I play it. So I stand behind.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The coach is in the mouth. If he posted, he's playing. He's put his money where his mouth is, right there, buddy.
I posted, I played. I mean, I don't do that, right? And so,
you don't sit on sideline.
That's the key. And I will say one thing: if you ever get on there and you look, there's a lot of people. I got hecklers at times, right? Like friends and people like, oh, how you getting these odds? How you moving lines? I can't help it that I know how to do it better than most people and utilize the apps different, right? And so that's my thing is like, you got to play it. Trust me, it took a lot of money to learn how to, to figure out how to move lines and do stuff like that. So, play with the apps, get to know it more. And if I post a number, I actually got that number. So look into it. Okay.
All righty. Well, we'll try to get it up on our social media also, so our base can see it. Well, Derek, good luck to you. Hey, we'll be checking your work and see you next week, buddy.
See you guys.
Man, what an amazing show. We got some man, Coach Fimple's great. We got our picks in. The Triple Crown guy, our BSN Player of the Week, had a great game for Clinton, Arkansas this week. Big victory over CAC. Hey, Bray, let's go ahead and finish this thing up. Tell everybody where to like and subscribe and where to find us. And, man, we have really been rolling here the last week. I mean, we're subscribers. We still got to get that number up, talk to everybody.
Yep, that number's growing. We got 24 subscribers in the last 15 days. So we're heading the right direction, Coach. We need a couple more, and we'll start really make a little bit of cash. And like we said earlier, it's the people that jump on the show that brings the people. So look for us on YouTube. We are Coaches in the Mouth Pod. That's our handle. Every like and subscribe is a huge deal. On Twitter, we are Coaches Pod. That's our handle. Where you can also find all of our episodes there or on Apple Podcasts.
Well, another great show. Hey, another great week of football. Look forward to it. It's all we put out. Going to have Coach Musselman on here real soon and get that out. I know a lot of fans, Hog fans, it's not basketball season yet, but it's right around the corner, and everybody's a big Hog fan. So we'll have Coach on soon and get that out there. Well, for Coach Jeff Williams, Coach Bray Cook, see you next time for the Coaches in the Pod. Everybody enjoy their Friday and Saturday nights and Sundays. See you later.